Imagine being a tiny island nation thrown out of a union with no natural resources, no army, and no certainty of survival. That was Singapore in 1965. Today, less than 6 decades later, this same nation stands as one of the richest, safest, and most advanced countries on Earth. How did Singapore rise from struggle to global success? This is the story. On August 9, 1965, Singapore was expelled from Malaysia. For many, it felt like the end. The new nation was poor, unemployment was high, and housing was overcrowded. Even water had to be imported. Singapore had no oil, no gas, no farmland, no gold, nothing but its people. Standing at the center of it all was a man who had to lead, Lee Kuan Yew, the country's very first prime minister. With tears in his eyes, he told the nation, "We are going to survive." But survival would require something extraordinary. Lee Kuan Yew was not just a politician, he was a visionary. He understood that Singapore could not rely on natural resources. It had to rely on human resources. Education, discipline, and hard work would become the pillars. The government launched massive programs to provide public housing, clean streets, and strict laws against corruption. Singapore would be built not on what it had, but on what it could create. The first challenge was jobs. The government invited foreign companies to set up factories, offering stability and incentives. Industrial zones were created. People were trained in new skills. Slowly, jobs appeared. At the same time, the Housing and Development Board, or HDB, built affordable flats to give families proper homes. In just a few years, slums were replaced with modern apartments. Singapore was transforming from the ground up. Singapore also became famous for its discipline. Laws were strict, corruption was not tolerated, and efficiency became a culture. Critics called it too harsh. But Lee Kuan Yew believed that without order, there could be no progress. Over time, Singaporeans began to take pride in their clean streets, safe neighborhoods, and reliable institutions. The country was laying the foundation of trust, something many nations still struggle to achieve. But survival alone was not enough. Singapore had to thrive. Its leaders looked at the island's location, right in the middle of major shipping routes, and turned it into an advantage. The port of Singapore grew into one of the busiest in the world. Changi Airport became an international hub. Banks and businesses were welcomed, and soon Singapore was not just surviving, it was competing globally. At the heart of the transformation was education. Singapore invested heavily in schools, universities, and research. Generations grew up fluent in English, mathematics, and science, ready to work in a globalized economy. Later, the country shifted to innovation, becoming a leader in technology, medicine, and finance. For a small island with no resources, knowledge became its most valuable export. Today, Singapore is ranked among the safest countries, with one of the strongest passports in the world. Its skyline is filled with futuristic buildings, and its economy is among the most competitive anywhere. Tourists see the beauty. But behind it lies decades of planning, sacrifice, and discipline. What was once called a hopeless nation is now a global model. Singapore's journey proves that size does not define destiny. With visionary leadership, discipline, and unity, even the smallest nation can rise to greatness. From tears of uncertainty in 1965 to a symbol of success today, this is the story of Singapore, an island that refused to give up and instead chose to shine. Thanks for watching. If you'd love more stories like this, hit that subscribe button and be part of the Mocha TV community. Bigger stories are on the way and you won't want to miss them.